Yes, you can achieve a college education right here in your own community. Harcum College's ACE program at the Deliverance Evangelistic Church offers associate degree programs that can help you land a good job and improve your quality of life.
I like Harcum and Debbie because I can continue my education.
The teachers are great. The atmosphere is great.
It's all possible through iLead and Harcum.
Call now or check out our Facebook page at Harcum College at Deliverance Evangelistic Church.
We've all been hurt at some point, even abandoned. Many of us have done the hurting ourselves. We get to the point where we don't trust anyone, nor do we feel worthy of being loved by anyone. Then there's that one person who just doesn't give up on loving you. Their love is unconditional. Their love stays long enough for you to heal. And then they promise to never leave. That's love you can count on. God's love.
Well, hello, everybody. This is David Evans from Washington, D.C., President Pick TV Network. I want to thank you for tuning in. Breaking Live, our brand new News World 2022 presentations right now. We want to thank our award-winning anchor persons right now. We have Patty from New York. Patty is here from New York. Patty always bringing that life from the city that never sleeps. And we have award-winning anchor person, Michelle Cox is here. Michelle is our anchor person from Atlanta, Georgia, keeping us real hot down there. No, and I'm from Washington, D.C. Folks, we got a hot topic tonight. You just heard our topic on Black history and more. Now tonight, we want to bring you in on another topic. And we also like to always thank our audience from around the world. We always open up and thank Brazil, France, Colombia, Mexico, Germany, Panama, Peru, Ireland, Canada, Africa, Argentina, United Kingdom, United States, and the rest of the world. We just got something from Roku that we have interpreters in these countries now interpreting our words and interpreting the presentations and shows that we have now. So in these countries now, Patty, we have interpreters there interpreting, and that's a beautiful thing. Thank you, Roku, those who are behind the scene working. Thank you. Let's get right into our topic today, folks. And we have Pastor Cornelius going to be joining us too. Today's topic is very important because it's talking about health. PIC TV Network, Health News World talk subject tonight, Omicron variant. Patty, and Michelle, can you guys tell us what's going on in our world now? Michelle, started off. What's going on in our world now?
Well, everybody knows that we've been dealing with COVID-19, or COVID-SARS-2. Well, there have been mutations of this virus, and the latest mutation is the Omicron variant. And the one thing about the Omicron variant, even though some people are like the symptoms are mild, that is a misnomer, because this thing is more virulent, means that it can be transmitted faster than Delta or Mu variants. Also, it's landing more people in the hospital because we've gotten relaxed. We won't mask. We're not doing social distancing. And a lot of people aren't vaccinating. And when I talk about that, the World Health Organization, the CDC and the NIH say 85% of the people going to the hospital now are not vaccinated. And it's putting a great strain on our healthcare system. So much so that in some hospitals, there are no more beds. People are outside, or they're sending people home. And when they send people home, a lot of times they don't make it. Now, seemingly, this virus, some people, they get a cold or what seems like a flu for a few days and they're fine. But other people are suffering to breathe, or they're suffering from other ailments, like they're having tachycardia, where the blood pressure is low. And they weren't realizing that was a symptom until here the last 3 or 4 days. So my thing is, we cannot afford to get tired, because that's what happened with the Spanish flu 100 years ago. That the Spanish flu wiped out 50 million people because they stopped doing the things that they needed to do to protect themselves. All right, Patty, what do you think?
Well, I'm in agreement with what you said, but also I want to bring to attention the whole monoclonal. Am I pronouncing it correctly? First that was like a hot commodity, and now it seems to be a scarcity. And people were thinking, oh, it's okay, I'll just go and get that. But now that's becoming scarce. So now we're kind of going backwards again, with this whole thing. And again, to even qualify to get it, even if you go to a hospital that still has it in stock, you have to meet certain criteria, like have good blood oxygen levels. So again, if you have symptoms, you can't wait too long either, and hoping that the hospital still has that available to be able to give. That has saved lives, but your best bet is just to get the vaccine, is probably your best bet yet. That's what the CDC is saying. I definitely feel relieved on having the vaccines and the booster. I know I could still get it, but I do have a sense of relief, and I don't understand why people wouldn't want that. But I do understand, the concerns of people being afraid, but vaccines have been around for hundreds of years, and we're still here, right? And some diseases were eradicated, and that's a good thing, and again, because of vaccines. And science is only getting better and better, so the fact that there might have not been years of study, you have to take under consideration that the SARS virus is derived from, it's the foundation of COVID, and that was being studied now for 5-6 years plus. So 10 years. There you go. So there. What else can I say? Don't be afraid.
Pat, thank you, Michelle. My heart is heavy, Michelle, and Patty. I have to do a funeral this Thursday. We're going to bring Pastor in a few minutes, Pastor. But one of my dear sisters in ministry, one of our pastors, Edith Meredith Cruz, her husband died 2 years ago. She passed away almost 2 weeks ago at the George Washington Hospital. She didn't have the shot, and she said she passed away. And I was thinking she was going to make it. We were praying for us. Everybody was praying for her to pull through. Ultimately, God knew that he would take her to heaven, and that's where she is now. Last year, we lost so many people. I think you were talking about 50 people that Michelle, and even my sister Brenda passed away. Patty, we were hurt because in New York, I never heard before in my life that the funeral home couldn't hold the people that were coming in. So where did the body bags go? They were telling me they were taking people literally and burying them in mountains, letting prisoners bury them, and tractor trailers with people bodies in from New York. Unbelievable. Michelle, my son caught COVID last month. Our booking person, Celeste, had COVID 2 weeks ago. Miss Spinks, who's on our team from California, had COVID. I got a call last week that somebody else, I would think it would be dying down, Michelle. And then my sister went to the hospital with my other sister. Darlene took Edie to the hospital. And she said, on yesterday, there's so many people, David, I don't think I can even get in there. What's going on? What's going on, Michelle? Again, I gotta ask you that.
Well, Dr. Evans, the first thing's going on is people won't do just the basics. They won't mask and they won't social distance because they have what we call COVID fatigue. So they're getting tired of being indoors. They're getting tired of the restrictions. Well, it doesn't matter whether you're tired of the restrictions. The disease is continuing to ramp up because every time we don't get enough people that are vaccinated, then what happens is, like anything, it mutates, it evolves. Viruses are very smart. They're looking for a new way to take over. And if we're not doing at least the minimum, staying home, only going out when we need to, masking and social distancing, we're helping to promulgate this virus. Now, we have vaccines. People are like, well, I'm afraid of the vaccine. Well, for 95% of us in the United States, you got a vaccine for measles, smallpox, chickenpox, and other childhood polio, because that was something that Patty had brought up. And we have literally eradicated those diseases. Well, this is something that we didn't know about. Well, that's why we have scientists, virologists, and epidemiologists that work together. Just in case you didn't know, we talk about Black History Month, one of the top epidemiologists was a Black woman, helped to develop both the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccines. So you think about, because a lot of Black people were saying, a lot of other people were saying, well, we don't know about this virus, or we don't know about this vaccine. As Patty said, this COVID v SARS has been around a while. They were actually studying this when it had its first outbreak over in China. And we're not talking about COVID SARS-V2. We're talking about the first one. So we know about these things. Science has been studying it. That's why President Obama, when he was in office, made a pandemic playbook. He's like, not if, when this happens, and we need to be ready. The thing about it is, anytime people deny the science, they help to promulgate this, and it keeps going on and on and on. Now, could we have saved a lot of people? Absolutely. But the part of saving people is you have to at least be willing to, number one, acquiesce some of your rights. People are dying of individual freedoms. Dr. Evans, back to you.
Yeah, I wanted to bring Pastor in. He's being on our show today, a special guest coming in. He said he has a funeral this week. I have a funeral this week. There's a lot of people still leaving. I got a call from one of our PIC TV network customers. He couldn't talk the other day because one of his friends passed away. Pastor, how is it down there, man, with the Omicron variant and COVID? Is it still spreading big down there where you are? Unmute your mic.
Dr. Evans, it is spreading like it's spreading everywhere else. Thursday, the funeral is the direct result of COVID. As a pastor and a leader, I was experiencing compassion fatigue when COVID first began. Just trying to figure out a way to meet needs in a space. Then Patricia and Michelle, I moved to decision fatigue. Like, I'm tired of making decisions week after week, day after day, pivoting here. You can only pivot so much as a person before you in basketball, before you're traveling. So we are seeing things we've never seen before, where people are still losing their lives. The funeral homes, 3-4 funerals, sometimes a day. And the mental fatigue that we experience as leaders is really weighing on us. Like, every 3 or 4 days, we're at a funeral. Every 3 or 4 days, somebody's being rushed to the hospital. I have a member now that just texted me and said, Pastor, I'm in the hospital. So I'm already like on pins and needles just tonight between the 2 shows. It's always something. And a lot of us are careless. Some of that carelessness has come from officials that have chosen to defy science. And we are seeing the repercussions of just rebellion, if you will allow me to say that.
Yes, Pastor, I do agree with that. Not only is it rebellion and recklessness, but misinformation. Because now, take, for example, you have Fox News. Just know that they're telling people, oh, you have individual freedoms, and people are dying from their individual freedoms. But if you go to Fox News, you must be vaccinated, you have to have proof, and you have to wear your mask before you go in the building. They're not telling that. You have a whole lot of people, and we're talking about GOP people, as well as some Democrats, are like, oh, well, people have individual choice. Individual choice is fine if you're not dealing with a deadly disease. It's like, let's take it back to HIV and AIDS. We kept telling people, you need to number one, protect yourself. Protecting yourself means having either saying no or having safe sex, using condoms and protection all the time consistently. But you had people that were lying about what they were doing, and you had women that felt so unsafe that they couldn't even negotiate having safe sex for fear of domestic violence. Well, with this variant, people were like, well, it's my personal choice. But it's not, it might be a personal choice, but do you need to take 50 or 60 people with you with your personal choice because you want to be reckless. That's what people aren't getting. It's more than you. And then what about the doctors and the nurses and the healthcare workers that you're putting at risk because you won't mask up? You won't take a vaccine. As soon as you get it, you're off to the hospital and you're putting other people's lives at risk. What about that? Patty, what do you think?
I also think, while you were saying that, I also think, how about all the worry? All the worry. If you like I was sharing before, like I have gone to, eating and social gatherings because, I feel that I'm semi-protected, right? Because I have my booster and my vaccines, but it's this feeling of like not having to worry. Just think of the family members that you're putting under distress if you're not getting vaccinated. If you, God forbid, you go somewhere publicly to an event, or you end up in the hospital and you're not vaccinated. Now your family has to worry even so much greater. Besides you being sick, now they have to worry of you dying, and it's happening. It's not like, oh, there's a slim chance. No, there's a bigger chance of you dying if you don't have the vaccine. It's a big probability. That's why I chose to get it, because I weighed out the probability of something happening with the vaccine was a lot less than something happening without it. So, it's just sensible. Again, I don't want to judge those who are afraid, but, if you don't have an underlying condition that a vaccine could really harm you, I highly suggest you should be more afraid of dying because you have a greater chance of getting it.
Well, you got some people that say, if I die, I die. Unfortunately, and that's on every spectrum. That's both black and white, Asian, Latin Americans, everybody in this. There are pockets of people in this country that figure, hey, I have a right to do with my body what I want to do with my body. Nobody's saying that you don't have a right. But at the same time, do you have a right to endanger other people? Do you have a right to endanger children? I got a sister friend of mine, and we were talking the other day. Everybody in her household was vaccinated but her. She ended up getting COVID and ended up giving it to her 90-year-old mother, which succumbed to the virus. Now she's got this guilt on her heart because she could have gotten the vaccine, but she didn't. So how many people are going through this whole, I'll get it later, or I'm going to wait till so many people get it before they get it. And then they end up getting this virus and they give it to somebody and they die from it. This is that whole, when we talked about earlier, Pastor Hill was talking about mental health. This is this whole part of that mental health fatigue that we're going with this Omicron variant as well. Pastor Hill, tell us a little bit more of what you think.
What I'm experiencing, thinking, and feeling all at the same time, like you said, when it first arrived before Omicron, we would listen. Because of the previous administration, it was not taken seriously. And then we begin to get sick. And then we begin to cause those that we love to catch what we thought was not real. And I know of a family, a daughter didn't take it seriously, took it home to her mother. The mother died. Wow. But that's when it was at the height. And guess what? The family couldn't even come together for the homegoing celebration, as we call it, because of the Omicron variant. So now we at even a different place of grieving and guilt. Like you just said, my personal rights, I don't have the right to be reckless. Let me say that. And I should not just walk around here doing things reckless under the guise of rights, because we're causing a great deal of grief and harm And we are seeing people become even more sick. And there were a lot of even churches, I will speak on behalf of the churches, because we were misinformed in the early days. We kept congregating in the regular space, and a lot of pastors and leaders lost their lives due to the virus. But we spiritualized it and did not look at it scientifically, because once again, we were misinformed and misled. So this grieving process that we're under, the guilt, the grief, and just all of these things that are taking place in people's lives, and especially the church, it has really brought us to another level of fatigue. And guess what? If we don't do what's needed and necessary, I see it continuing to worsen.
Yeah, when we talk about this topic, folks, talking about something that's real around the world, as we speak about a pandemic, there's so many lives. Michelle, when we talked about this last year, and Patty talked about it last year, Michelle, when we were, and I asked you how many people lives were gone, that you said about 50 that were close to you, 54 close to you. And then I asked you about the mass, and I asked you about gathering, and people still want to do the same thing. They still want to gather around. But when my sister told me yesterday that the hospitals are full and my other sister can't, she said, I can't even go in. And as Pastor was talking just now, I understand how that feels, to lose so many people close to you. Even today, even in today's time, we still have to practice social distancing. We still have to wear our masks. We still have to wash our hands. I took my car to get a service today, Michelle. The water fountains have tape on them. The bathroom where we go, brothers, one of the fountains you have nothing on it. Is it to the level of that thing, Michelle? We can't even drink water. What's up with that? Why the water thing is just taped off, Michelle?
It has to be. You got to remember, it's a point of contact. This virus can live on surfaces up to 72 hours, especially when we're talking about if it's not getting sanitized, and you don't know who's sanitizing, who's not. Like me, when I go out, I have 3 large cans of Lysol in my car. I spray my car, I spray me, I spray my shoes, when I get in and when I get out. I wash my hands. I have literally 3 packs of 6 sanitizers. I hand out hand sanitizers because, number one, I'm immunocompromised. I have sarcoidosis in my lungs, and I've been battling breast cancer for the last 5 years. I had a hip fracture. I'm over 50 years old. I'm 60. I'm in that age range where with underlying conditions, I can get it. Now, when we talk about what this virus is attacking, it's attacking people with certain health conditions as well. If you got high blood pressure, if you have diabetes, if you got kidney problems, if you got underlying health conditions, it's still attacking people and still attacking older people. But now, because young people are like, well, it's attacking old people, they don't have anything to do with me. They're not getting vaccinated. Now it's starting to attack them. Viruses are smart. They look for ways to infiltrate the body. That's why vaccines, and that's why people are like, well, if the vaccines work, why do you have to have a booster? The same way if you get a nail in your foot and you have to go take a tetanus shot, even though you had a tetanus shot. If you hadn't had a tetanus shot in 10 years, you got to take another tetanus shot. It's a booster. You get boosters for the vaccines that you had over the years because they start to wane. If you had chicken pox when you were young, you have immunity. But when you get into your 50s, that immunity starts to wane. That's why you have to have the shingles vaccine. People need to be more aware of why we have vaccines and their efficacy. Nothing lasts forever. But if we're going to help each other and we're in this together, no matter what your color, no matter what your religion, no matter where you're from, we need to do this together. This is not the first time we've had a lockdown. This is not the first time we've had a bad health situation or a pandemic. But we also have to remember it's not just the United States. It's the world. It is literally the world. And we have to come together if we're going to eradicate this. Dr. Evans, back to you.
You know, we're going to take a break. I never thought in my life that, you know, this mask can help save your life. You know, they say when you're in an airplane, the first mask to put on is yours. Don't cover anybody else up. And you've been talking about this for a whole year. The whole year. This is not something you just was talking about tonight. You've been telling everybody. Those who want to watch the replay, please get a pencil and pad. This is the home testing. You can get this and test. I took it myself. I took 2 or 3 of them already, you know, and thank God it was negative, you know, but get this. This can save your life. Don't think, you know, I'm okay. It's just a little cold. Just get it. Don't be afraid of the bad news. Don't be afraid of the good news. Just go ahead and do it. Get it and take action. The best thing you can do if it comes out to be positive is to take action. Just because you have COVID, that don't mean COVID has to have you. It doesn't have to control you. It doesn't have to take you out. You know, so this little test right here, you know, please get one. There's some information there. And when we're talking about this, Michelle, again, you've been talking about this for almost a whole year, how important it is to keep doing the right things, washing our hands, wearing our masks, staying 6 feet under. And now we're not at the end of this thing. It's not over. We're gonna bring Pastor back in. We're gonna take a commercial break, folks. Don't touch that dial. You watching the Pick TV Network special presentation. You can still chat in. We're still listening, watching you as you're watching us today. We're looking forward to seeing you right here on the network. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after this. TV network you're going to be watching?
Pick TV.
There you go.
Yes, you can achieve a college education right here in your own community. Harcum College's ACE program at the Deliverance Evangelistic Church offers associate degree programs that can help you land a good job and improve your quality of life.
I like Harcum and Debbie because I can continue my education.
The teachers are great. The atmosphere is great.
It's all possible through iLead and Harcum.
Call now or check out our Facebook page at Harcum College at Deliverance Evangelistic Church.
Hey everybody, my name is Patricia Frudenberg, also known as Patty. I am the CEO of Miss You Graham and the proud team member of the Pick TV Network. I am the New York business manager, also part of the news team on Channel 1000. We welcome you to come celebrate the 1-year anniversary of the PIC TV network. And congratulations to 1 million viewers. Yay! All the viewers, we welcome you. This is the People's Investment Network, and we are here to celebrate the 1-year anniversary. Thank you for joining us in this celebration.
Hey everyone, this is big. I want everyone to download the PIC TV network on your Roku search bar. My brother David Evans is growing PIC TV fans, and I want us to help my brother blow up PIC TV. Boom! PicTVNetwork.com. Bomb.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Kim Burrell. Congratulations to David Evans and the PIC TV network reaching 1 million viewers on Roku. Let's help my brother David Evans and PIC TV get 1 million plus. Go to www.thepictvnetwork.com. Again, that's www.thepictvnetwork.com. God bless you.
We're back here on the broadcast again. I want to thank our award-winning anchor host, Patty from New York, and also Michelle Cox here, and our special guest. I think this pastor got bit by the bug, the PIC TV network, happy bug. He's here today. You know, folks, when we're talking about this subject today, there's a lot of people who think that this is not real and it's over. It's just something that was a pandemic, not a pandemic. They think it was just a fraud thing. It's about money. But I know when I go to this funeral on this week, this was a person that's dear to me, and it's real. This person passed away, Miss Pastor Edith Cruz Merity. I love her so much. She's 30 years a part of our church ministry, and she was just on the prayer line about a month ago with us, you know, and my heart goes out to her family. I have to officiate this program and pray for us. That's this week. And then, Pastor, you stated that you have you have a service this week. You know, being a leader in ministry today in 2022 it's not easy, man, with the churches going through and with members and folk. Just got a call just now about a person in the hospital. You know, the pain is real. You know, the fatigue, the pain. Sometimes I just tear up, man. I'm a grown man in my 50s. I just tear up because I just feel the burden, man. It was one of the prophets, Habakkuk. This feels the burdens of so much going on, man, and it's so real. I'm finding out when I went to buy some cards at the card store that the funeral cards the bereavement cards are gone. There's no more. There's no more bereavement cards. That means there's so many people passing away that they can't even make enough cards. And man, you praying for us and we praying for you, man. We have to get together and talk about ministers strengthening ministers and pastors strengthening pastors and then the mental anguish. I know a lot of pastors who in the DMV, they can't go back to their buildings because number one, there's a decline in membership, decline in funds, and they were renting buildings, and there was a lot of pressure, financial issues going on before COVID. Now with COVID, how can they afford these? They can't afford the buildings. So it's forced to stay virtual. Come on, talk to us for a minute, Pastor.
Well, especially in some of the metropolises that we frequent, we've seen the churches foreclosing every week. And it's due really to the underlying issue is COVID, Omicron, Delta, just where we are in this pandemic and how it has stretched us and also stressed us. We are stressed due to the fatigue, decision, mourning, grief, compassion. We are stretched because we've never had to do what we've had to do. We are seeing churches close down and merge and come together. But even in the merger, which makes logical sense, you still can't congregate and be as frequent as you were before the COVID. So again, you put the pastor and the leadership in a quagmire. What decision do we make just this week? What decision are we going to make Tuesday? And then when we make decisions, David, that we change them after we make them, only to find out that the ones we changed because of the change, we got to go back and change them again. Remember when this first came out, we was at 50. Then it moved down to 30. Then it moved down to 15. Then it moved down to 10. Like, which 10 people get the reservation to come to church? And how many services do you have? And then how much stress does that put on the people that they have to be categorized or put in a cohort? They in cohort 3. These are terms that we've never had to use as it relates to the body of Christ, where David's family is going to D through F can only come to church from 9:30 to 10:35. We've never had to do that. We've never had to put ourselves in that, and that causes stress, trying to minister to the masses. But then you have to put in there funerals. While we were trying to make decisions about who could come, when they could come, and create these menus, then the funeral started happening. And every 3-4 days, now you at a funeral, if not with one casket, possibly 2 or 3 caskets. And then you got to make another decision. Which family member gets to come? Because we had to make those decisions. Is it just going to be mama, daddy, grandmama, and the immediate family? Is it going to be the immediate family and a few of the first cousins? Is it going to be aunts and uncles? Or then are we not going to even have a funeral? They just have the preacher, a psalmist, and probably an officiant, and put the camera up and do it that way. I've known family members that did not get a proper burial, could not go to funerals, could not go home, could not get to the service because they were not having services. And you know, in our culture, that's a big thing. That's a major thing that gives us right for closure. And we celebrate, we have celebrations upon celebrations because of that. But some people still have not gone to graveyards, have not had that proper burial. They've lost loved ones. One of the church members has lost like 25 people to COVID. And she didn't even get to go to her own mother's funeral because of COVID. So her headspace, you know, how do we sit down and even begin to counsel through grief counseling? Because once again, not only do you do grief, there's a guilt there. And then who's to blame? Who gave mama COVID? Now we're catching COVID at funerals. We're trying to limit. We're spraying. We're wiping things down. It's something every day, and we're nervous, and it's stressful, and it creates an atmosphere of anxiety, and we're just tired.
We have to deal with it, Pastor. We're in a day and time which is biblical times, number one. Number two is we are brother's keeper. I gotta check on you. You gotta check on me. We have to communicate. I got a call last month from a funeral home in Oxon Hill. They don't know me. I don't know them. The family didn't have nobody to bury them. So they called me and I had to officiate and to do everything on the program. I got it one this Thursday again. So when we're talking about funerals and then counseling families, bereavement, and it's so much going on, and we have to realize that, you know, this day and time we cannot put profit before people. You know, I know there's a lot of churches, the budget is still there. There's a lot of people still got to keep things going, tithes and offerings and everything like that, to keep ministry going. But people's lives are at stake. You know, I don't feel safe as a pastor and as a minister, as a servant, as a leader going into buildings without people wearing masks. I don't. Even when I'm taking my own microphone, you know, even wiping it down and everything, that's cool. But I need to have another layer of protection. My wife don't hug no more. You know, that's the first thing we do when we come to each other. We haven't seen each other. We embrace each other. My wife doesn't do that. She'll wave at you, but she is very, 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 very safeguarding herself. When we had my sister's funeral in 2020 of September 2020, I couldn't look at her program for 6 months because I talked to her Saturday. She was gone Sunday. I couldn't look at it. I did the service, but I couldn't look at her program for 6 months. I couldn't do that. Can you imagine me officiating a funeral, doing a eulogy, and can't look at the program? I can't look at my sister's pictures. I couldn't. I can't. I couldn't gaze and see my sister on all those pictures when I just seen her, you know, a couple of weeks ago. And it took me 6 months, and I still can't just look at, because she was so close to me. You know, so we have to go through that psychological aspect of dealing with this, the mental aspect of dealing with this, because it's when somebody's close to you, when they really, and they suddenly gone, it's a whole different level. And I want to bring Patty in, and I want to bring Michelle in. Michelle, when somebody's close to you and they just gone, I don't know how.
I can't. My friend from college, Sam. Me and Errol and Sam, we've been, you know, just like staying in touch with each other. We went to college when we were 16 and 18, and had been talking to Sam, and Sam was doing fine. He had really started to recover because Sam was a transplant recipient. He had gotten a kidney and he had got another organ. And then, you know, he went to the hospital and we're like, you know, and then I called his wife, and she, you know, she contacted me. She's like, you know, Sam is gone. I'm like, what are you talking about? It's like, you know, he caught it, and, you know, they called, we were on the phone together. I couldn't even go see him. And it's like, I can't breathe, baby. I can't breathe. And that was his dying words. He couldn't breathe. And then I've had 54 people die that I know with COVID. So every time I turn around, someone's passing away. I got a sister friend of mine. She called me today. 4 funerals she's going to this week. But it doesn't have to keep happening. And some of it's preventable. We just really have to work together and be better. Patty, to you.
Yeah, and for mental wellness, because like Cornelius was saying, you know, it's affecting our mental wellness. Besides, you know, the obvious of grievance, it's just putting on a big stress factor, and you know that kind of snowballs too, because you know it doesn't go away, and the more of it there is, the more of it we have. You know, it's really a big challenge now. How are we dealing this, especially because we can't even have that support system like we normally would under normal circumstances. When you lose somebody, you know, you have those gatherings to help each other get through those you know, hard times. Now we're isolated, and on top of it, you know, and you know, I recently became an end of life coach, certified end of life coach, and you know, this is a trying time, you know, to help people because it's in such a large amount. You know, usually you lose somebody once every now and then, you know. Obviously it's something that's going to happen, it's natural to die, but in this massive amount, 4 in 1 week, 54 people in one circle, I mean, come on, that's unheard of. So how do you cope, you know? And you just have to like really just look at the big picture, and it boils back down to get the vaccine. Let's just start with that, you know, and save lives. And if for any reason you're opposed to the vaccine, for whatever reason it may be, don't put other people at harm, you know, because we're trying to save lives here. And what else can I say, you know? I'm not going to give a lesson here on how to cope with grievance, because that's not what the show is about today. But it can start with protecting others by getting the vaccine or staying home or masking up. If you're not going to be vaccinated, then you're going to be around others.
You know, Patty, I want to commend you for what you stated, and also Pastor, and also Michelle. Taking care of your mom, being there for her. We just was praying for her this week. And I want to say thank you, Patty, for just being there for mom. I can't think about just being in a hospital room without seeing your family. That aspect of it, when nobody can't see you. I haven't seen my sister since maybe August, September, October, November, December, January, February, almost 7 months, because they won't let us go in. It's and then to have her, to pray for her family, to be a part of the family that's there, that they have each other. My sister caught COVID in the recovery rehab and home that she's in. She had to be isolated within isolation. You know, that's a whole different aspect, Pastor. We got to come back and talk about that. You know, it's just one of those times we have to pray. We have to be our brother's keeper. We have to check on each other. What I did for my sister when she was in there, I got her phone and I put music on the phone, and we talked, and we had the prayer line through Zoom, and we brought her in through the phone line so she still could hear us even while we had services and stuff right through her phone. So we brought the atmosphere to her. We brought the same thing we were doing to her in rehab and in the nursing homes. So, Patty, I never thought that you would be an end of life coach, working in the Red Cross, doing what you do in New York, and work with Pick TV Network. But it's needed. It's a whole different. How do young people feel going through this? We never went through this. Teenagers, the young kids, how do they adjust to this? It's a whole different level of education we have to do. And thank God we have the Pick TV Network, where we have shows and programs like this, uncut, uncensored. We can speak truth and reality, and we can help each other. Folks, thank you for your time. You've been watching the Pick TV Network. This has been one of those topics that you're going to watch again. I know a lot of people are going to be watching the replay over and over and over again. Any closing words that you want to leave with anybody? Michelle?
Well, I want to say to everybody, if you can get the vaccine, get it, get vaxxed, get boosted, wear your mask, do the safety protocols, washing our hands on a frequent basis, sanitizing. Remember, if you walk outside, if you think you might have COVID, don't spit, because it aerolizes it and that keeps it going. Minimize your travel if you can, and pray and take care of each other. Pastor Hill, what about you?
I echo what you say, the same sentiments. Educate yourself, continue to educate yourself. One of the things that we got caught up in was being asymptomatic, and the asymptomatic individuals we're walking around asymptomatic, not knowing that we still have the disease and it's still communicable and it still can penetrate into other and mutate into other things. So educate ourselves, continue to use safety protocols, and then check on those individuals like our children who've missed prom, who've missed graduation, who miss so many things that we used to just do naturally, because they have suffered as well. And then for those of us who serve people, and all of us do, check on ourselves, make sure we get the mental mental help that we need. And tonight, Miss Patricia said, I'm an end of life coach. I never heard of that phrase until now, but we need help, and there's a lot of help out there, and we need to once again just continue to equip and educate ourselves concerning this Omicron and any other variant that comes out. Thank you for being here tonight.
Patricia, how about you?
Well, I'm going to put a little plug in, being that we're talking about the Omicron. So I started a movement, and it's called the PDF movement, and it stands for Pandemic Defeated by Faith, because with faith, we will prevail. And you have to take protocol, yes, either vaccine or, be aware that if you're not taking the vaccine, to mask up and all that good stuff. But the PDF movement is for starving artists, crushing COVID, serving purpose for, our Father who art in heaven, through the creative arts, because we have to accept what is. So if somebody dies, there's nothing we could do about it. And it's harsh reality, but it's something, again, that we can't do anything about. So what can we do with these feelings? And we're all creatives in our own right. So this is, a movement that I'm making to bring to light to people to keep doing their purpose. Don't let this paralyze you. Don't let this pandemic stop you from living. Don't be afraid to go out. Just be careful, mask up, or take the vaccine. But this movement is about conquering with faith, and we could get through this together. Serve your purpose. Do something that's going to make you move. That's why I want to call it a movement, because it's about living and moving. You're still here living, and even if you have buried a lot of people, do what you can. Write something. Maybe you don't know you're a writer. Cook, create. Michelle, she's in the STEM world. Go on the computer, go on digital. There are so many platforms now. In fact, I've become friends with Michelle and Dr. Evans through the beautiful platform Clubhouse, which really was a saving grace during COVID for so many worldwide. So again, don't just sit there and get stuck. And again, I just wanted to bring to light and give it a little plug, because it's for the greater of good. And that's my last words.
Wow, folks, you've been watching PIC TV Network special presentation. We have award-winning anchor person, Michelle Cox from Atlanta, Georgia. Michelle has been, she's one of our 5-star anchor persons from Atlanta, Georgia. And then we have Patty from New York. She keeps us up and going. And they come on. And the topics that we have covered was so awesome. and I want to thank these anchor persons for coming on. I'm David Evans from Washington, D.C., and we want to thank our special guest who came in with us tonight, Pastor Kenice Hill from Nashville, Tennessee. So we brought him in just to add a little bit of flavor to these anchor persons. Now, I think that they tried to get him to bite the Pick TV Network good bug. I think the good bug that a bit faster. So everybody watching, please look at the repeat. Watch it again. Send the link out. Send it out. This is life-saving information. Please take a moment. If you don't have the test, if you don't have the COVID-19 home test, you can go get one. This is so important. You can get one. You can order one. You can get one. I think they're even sending them in the mail from the government. So you need to get this. This is going to help you. Please wear your mask. Put your mask on. Don't stop wearing your mask just because you feel you're okay and everything is good. Please do social distancing. Please watch out for the other person. Watch out for your brothers and sisters. We are our brothers and sisters keepers. And I want to say thank you. Until we meet again next time on the Pick TV Network, thank you, everybody. Shalom.
Of ages cleft for me, let me hide myself in thee. Let the water and the blood from thy riven side which flowed be of sin the double cure. Save me from its guilt and power, and not the labor of my hands can fulfill the law's demands. Could my zeal no respite know? Could my tears forever flow, or could never sin erase? Thou must save and save by grace, and nothing in my hands I bring, simply to the cross I cling. Naked come to thee for dress, helpless look to thee for grace. Foul I to the fountain fly, wash me, Savior, or I die. And while I draw this fleeting breath, while my eyes shall close in death. When I soar to worlds unknown, see thee on thy judgment throne, Rock of ages, cleft for me. Let me hide myself in thee, Rock of ages, cleft for me. Let me hide myself, let me hide myself, let me hide myself in thee. Let me hide myself, let me hide myself, let me hide myself in thee. Let me hide myself, let me hide myself, let me hide myself in thee. 'Cause you are the source of my strength, and you are the strength of my life. I lift my hands in total praise to